Was the original Super Saiyan transformation supposed to have red eyes? It's one of the things that I feel like a bonehead for leaving out of my transformation guide covering Super Saiyans. But that video was already getting really long when I was conceiving it, and it was probably a lot to talk about. So on this video, I want to discuss Toriyama's original idea behind Super Saiyan transformations having red eyes, and why a Super Saiyan with red eyes is actually how the creator originally conceived this transformation to look. Hey everyone, don't forget to push that like button on the video because it does help out the channel quite a bit. And if you are new here to Geekdom 101, hit that subscribe button and enable all notifications so that you get all my content delivered to you right when it comes out. I thank you for 6 years of support and hopefully many more to come. I think one of the things people loved about Ultra Instinct was the focus on Goku having silver eyes. The eyes in a character can tell a lot about what's going on with the character's emotions. And when you have a good artist, or even a great artist, and a great animator alongside of them, whether it be for manga or for anime respectively, you can really tell the emotions. You can really tell what's going on inside of a character's head just by the way they draw the eyes. And in Dragon Ball, it's no exception. But when it comes to Goku and the other Super Saiyans having red eyes, this is a thing. But it's not the first time that Toriyama conceived red eyes. In fact, if you go to some of the images from the Kaioken that were taken from the guidebooks, you can see Goku having red eyes while doing the Kaioken, even though in the series, the actual Dragon Ball Z anime, he has black eyes. Interestingly enough, something similar happened with Dragon Ball Z's Super Saiyan transformations. As far as the original idea, or one of the original ideas that Toriyama danced with, is having the red eyes, but for the anime, it was altered. Now, when it comes to red eyes, I want to make very clear to some of you guys that red eyes in Dragon Ball do not represent evil necessarily, like in other forms of fiction. You know, some would look at somebody with red eyes and think that it's a representation of some kind of sinister, maybe even occult force, but that's not the case here. Red eyes were used as a tool in Japan when it comes to different manga and different pieces of art to illustrate a strong emotion, usually rage. So if you see a character with red eyes, it does not mean they're evil, it means they're pretty much pissed off, right? And of course, Goku in his Super Saiyan transformation, especially early on, was an angry young man, and rightfully so. I think the most famous example of Super Saiyans having red eyes is Toriyama's sketch of Super Saiyan Goku that he did to help the anime staff in preparation for Dragon Ball Z Movie 5, known as Cooler's Revenge in the United States, but in Japan known as Battle of the Strongest versus Strongest, where we saw Super Saiyan Goku, the actual Super Saiyan Goku, not the fake one from the previous movie, the full-out golden-haired warrior in that movie for the very first time. And his theatrical debut, Toriyama wanted Goku to have red eyes when he became a Super Saiyan. But when you watch the movie, they actually zoom in on Goku's eyes at one point, and they are indeed not red, even though he's still very angry. Now, one could say, well, that's just one example of Toriyama using red eyes. Maybe he misplaced his colored pencils that day or something. You know, there's always an excuse for this. But guess what? If you do more research into this, you come to find out that no, that is not the case, and that at one time, it was without question planned to be part of the design of Super Saiyans. In fact, if you look at Super Sonic, for example, he has red eyes. So I guess at some point, they picked up on this. But at one time, even for the anime, they were going to have Goku have red eyes. And at some point, and I don't know exactly when, somebody at the Toei Animation staff decided to not go with red and instead go with blue or green, depending on what character it is. Of course, green for the other characters not named Vegeta, although they do change it up depending on who the artist was. In some instances, it just depends. However, when looking at the original manga, it tells a different story. If we go back to the older publications of the manga, One of the things that many Dragon Ball fans know, but some of them don't know, is that there were colored chapters and colored pages in the original run. Now, I'm not talking about the Dragon Ball full colored editions where everything's in color that came out a few years ago. I'm talking about way back in the 80s and 90s when Dragon Ball was first running. There were a certain number of chapters that were in color. And in the colored pages, if we go back and examine these, you will find some interesting surprises. One of which being that Goku does indeed have red eyes when he's in the Super Saiyan transformation. Now understand that when you compare the coloring of the original manga colored pages to the coloring of the full colored editions, it's very different. The full colored editions took a lot of inspiration from the anime, as well as colored pretty much everything vibrantly, and it really looks sort of like how an American comic would look as opposed to a manga. Whereas if you look at the original manga colored pages, they kind of felt a little bit more like newspaper comic strips, to where even though they were colored and had a variety of colors, it sort of had that old school kind of more simplistic look. And because of that, many fans have thought that maybe Toriyama used the red eyes to kind of give it a more artistic flavor and stylistic look to Super Saiyan. But to me, it's no accident, because why would he even do an anime design for the movie, for the Toei production staff, if he didn't intend at one point in Goku having red eyes? If you look at the entire fight between Goku and Frieza, the colored pages that Goku fights Frieza in when he's a Super Saiyan, Goku has red eyes when he's in that form. So this is no accident. Now, in those same panels, however, we see Goku Super Saiyan form having white hair. And that could be seen as being a stylistic, artistic choice by Toriyama. Or perhaps Toriyama did at one time intend for Goku to have white hair when he was a Super Saiyan, but by the time that they would produce that Dragon Ball Z Cooler movie, Toriyama stuck with the red eyes, but also went with the signature golden hair. Now understand that the Cooler movie was already in pre-production before those Dragon Ball Z episodes of Goku fighting Frieza as a Super Saiyan were out. So all of this stuff was kind of being made right around the same time. So it would make sense that Toriyama's mind changed a few times when it came to the final design of Super Saiyan. And as far as I know, Toriyama either did color in most of these or worked hand in hand with his assistant to put together these colors. I don't believe it was a different person doing the coloring. So Toriyama, without question, had colored these eyes red purposely. Now, the red eye Super Saiyan idea would only be consistent until right around the Cell Saga, the middle of it. For example, when you see the fight with Vegeta and Android 18, Vegeta as a Super Saiyan has red eyes. But later on in that arc, Toriyama changes to doing more so of like a light gray sort of look for the eyes, as opposed to it being red. So at some point he dropped the idea, maybe because he saw the anime version and wanted to match it up with that. It could be many different reasons, we may never know. It really does seem like Akira Toriyama changed his mind several times about what the colors of the eyes and hair were supposed to be for Super Saiyan, but it makes you wonder, how would this have gone if Toriyama stuck with the red-eyed look for Super Saiyan? Do you think it would have been cooler, or do you prefer the yellow hair and blue-eyed sort of Aryan look to it, which some have said is done on purpose to resemble Aryans, but I don't think that was the intention here, and the red-eyed Super Saiyan kind of proves that, you know what I mean? Let me know what you think. Leave a like on the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and if you enjoyed this video, check these out as well.